Hello, today is Friday, July 1st, 2022, and we have more updates on the war in Ukraine. It's been a couple of days since our last update, but nonetheless, you can see here June 28th, 2022, Ukraine war map, indicating that Russia had reportedly attempted a crossing of the Seversky Donets River to the west of Prividya. And this is, of course, in an attempt to try and encircle the Romanian Ukrainian troops that are here in the city of Lysychansk, and to really try and capture what's left of Luhansk Oblast. Um, and so they made that attempt to cross the river, and we'll see more about that in a little bit. The update on June 29th also commenting more about the Russian advance from the south. The Russians making their way into the southwestern outskirts of the city of Lysychansk and also capturing Verknokamyanka over here. So capturing this village and also making inroads into the city of Lysychansk and also making inroads over here on this little peninsula, and attempting to really encircle the remaining Ukrainian troops. And I must admit that the Russians are appearing to do quite well at the moment on that front. On June 30th, which was yesterday, the Russians withdrawing from Snake Island, they said that this was a gesture of goodwill, but we know that that's far from the truth because today a missile struck the Serhivka, a Serhivka residential tower in the city of Odessa, killing 21 people, or at least 21 people that were killed. That being just the day after Ukraine, or rather Russia, said that they were doing an act of goodwill when they withdrew from Snake Island. The United States concluding that that was more likely because of the fact that they were facing significant pressure from Ukrainian artillery barrages and stuff like that. Near the Snake Island, Russian forces have not been reinforced by any attempt here, or any attempted successful attempt by the Russians to try and capture the entire Black Sea coast. That was one of their initial goals in this war. And you can definitely see, I mean, they're struggling over here in Kherson Oblast. They never made it particularly close to Odessa, and certainly not the entire Black Sea coast. So Russians withdrawing from Snake Island. And yesterday we had this update from Kherson Oblast, that the Ukrainian troops had recaptured Potomkina right over here, so another village. These are very minor changes, and there's not any significant changes here in the contours of the war, but nonetheless, Ukraine recapturing the Potomkina village in Kherson Oblast, and trying to really hold the Russians back and push back in an effort to retake the city of Kherson. And yesterday as well, we received this update, that the Russian troops, as I had mentioned before, they were looking to make this crossing over the Seversky Donets River. They are successful in crossing from Kremena to Prividya and taking control of Prividya. This really putting the remaining Ukrainian troops in Lysychansk in a very tight spot. They're surrounded from the south. They will probably eventually be surrounded from the north. They're definitely surrounded from the east, in terms of the Russians in Severodonetsk and Drubizhna. And potentially now it seems very likely that they'll be surrounded from the west. This is a very narrow gap right here for any remaining troops to evacuate, and it really does not look as though that is going to happen in the immediate future or happen successfully. So that is that update right there. And then, just in terms of other news, the trial of Brittany Griner starting today, Friday, July 1st, 2022. She was arrested on February 17th, just a couple of days before the war started, at Sheremetyevo International Airport in Moscow. And she was accused by the Russians of basically carrying contraband hashish oil, which is illegal in Russia, and she is facing a potential conviction of 10 years in prison. The Russian judicial system very much so favoring convictions, almost 99% rate of conviction in their judicial system. The Russians have been proposing a potential prisoner swap for arms dealer Viktor Bout here. And it's not entirely clear how this issue will be resolved. The United States is very forcefully making moves to secure Brittany Griner's release, but nonetheless, here you can see her today beginning her trial in Moscow, or in the suburbs of Moscow, rather. And it remains to be seen how she's going to be availed of that situation, and whether or not, or how quickly, rather, the court will move to pass a verdict against Miss Griner. So that is the update on the war in Ukraine here on Friday, July 1st, 2022. The Ukrainian situation in Lysychansk looking increasingly perilous as the Russians successfully mount another crossing of the Seversky Donets River. And then we have as well more updates here today in the trial of Brittany Griner, who has now begun her trial in Moscow. Thank you.